Hello and welcome to Jean Making 101. I am Heather Liu of Closet Core Patterns, here to teach you how to make your very own pair of jeans from home on a regular sewing machine. Now, funnily enough, this is not the first time we have recorded this class. I actually recorded a jean making class over 10 years ago. And the reason I decided it was time was, first of all, we had a new jean pattern coming out, but more than that, it was that in the last 10 years, I have taught in-person jean making workshops dozens of times all over the world. I've taught hundreds of people in person, and I've learned so much, not only about, new tricks and construction and things like that, but the things that people tend to struggle with when they're sewing jeans. So I'm kind of coming to this class with this new perspective of kind of intuitively understanding where you might be struggling and then helping you kind of through those tricky steps. Jeans are a really meaningful garment, right? I think they're probably, if we were to look back at the last 100 years, I don't know if anything kind of sums up Western fashion more than a pair of jeans. Jeans really were invented in the 19th century as workwear for miners, right? And people doing kind of hard jobs. And up until the 30s or 40s, they were still kind of more linked to workwear. But then the 50s started, we saw this slow progression as jeans really entered mainstream fashion. And now they are a garment without class, right? Everybody wears jeans. Everybody on earth probably has a pair of jeans in their closet. Maybe not everybody on earth, but I would say the majority of people on earth have a pair of jeans in their closet. And for me, I wear jeans every single day. It's my favorite garment. Like if I had to choose one thing to wear, hopefully you'd give me a shirt as well, would be a pair of jeans. And I love them because there's a million different cuts. There's so many different ways you can style them. You can wear them loose, you can wear them baggy, all these different leg shapes. You can have fun with things like rises. They kind of go with everything. And for me, when I look at my life, I can almost trace the history of my life with the pair of, the jeans that I was wearing. And so for me, they're a really personal garment, and I think they probably feel the same for you, because I think they're one of those garments that no matter how much you wear them, you look at them and it's kind of hard, especially if you've never done it before, to imagine how you could possibly sew them, right? There's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of top stitching, there's some tricky things like fly fronts and zipper flies, there's thick waistbands, you're working with thick fabrics, there's bar tacks, there's hardware. It's hard to imagine that you can do this at home. I promise you that you can. And what I love about making jeans is that I don't know if there's any other garment that you're gonna sew that is gonna give you that same sense of, I can't believe I made that. Like that feeling is, I don't get to have it that much anymore because I've been sewing for so long, but I remember the first time I finished a pair of jeans and I had that feeling. It was like nothing on earth. It was the most deeply satisfying and self-affirming feeling I'd ever had. And so I'm really hoping over the course of this class, you are going to get to experience that yourself. So what I wanted, my biggest piece of advice for you throughout this, as we're sewing along together, is that I really want you to kind of take, if you have any perfectionist tendencies, just put them in a little drawer and put them away. We're not trying to make a perfect pair of jeans. What we're trying to do is finish a pair of jeans and learn how to make a pair of jeans and get better as we make them, right? But it's unlikely that your first pair of jeans off your machine are gonna be absolutely perfect. What I don't wanna see, and this is something I know I would see my students struggling with, is this perfectionism, right? And the students in my classes that tend to get really stuck and not leave at the end of a workshop were the ones that were obsessed with their seam ripper and ripping their stitches out over and over and over again. And then at the end of the weekend, they were kind of bummed because they didn't finish. And it was because they had spent too much time trying to get things perfect. So I just want you to breathe, kind of put that in that drawer, and also just focus as we're doing this on a step-by-step process. That's the thing about jeans. It's really logical, it's really sequential. It really makes sense as we get into it. And so don't look at the full pair of jeans and get intimidated. We're just gonna do this step by step. We're gonna ease in. And as we get going, you're gonna start to see that this isn't as complicated or as difficult as you might think. Okay, so chances are, if you've already enrolled, you've chosen the pattern that you would like to sew. What I want everybody to understand is, obviously at Closet Core, we have lots of jeans patterns. We've got Ginger, we've got Jude, we've got Morgan, and now more recently we have our Frank jeans. There are tons of options out there. We might release more in the future if I have my druthers. But this class really applies to any 5-pocket classic pair of jeans. So whether or not you're using a men's pattern or a pattern from another company, everything that you're gonna learn here is going to work, which is great. Now, I love a classic 5-pocket pair of indigo jeans with like a copper gold thread, super, super classic. But there are lots of ways that we can really kind of personalize them. I think that's part of the fun. So let's take a look at some pairs right now and maybe get a sense of not only some of the design features you can do, but maybe a broader sense of how jeans are constructed. Okay, so for our first pair, we have a pair of Levi's classic, right? Levi Strauss is actually like a pioneer in jeans construction, and I still think they make great jeans. And so I don't even know what cut these are. But what I want to show you is that these are kind of a more affordable pair of ready-to-wear, and we're just going to look at some of the basic features. So this is a non-stretch pair of jeans. It's got a button fly, and we are going to be covering how to do a button fly in addition to a jeans fly. When I say 5-pocket, what I mean is these 2 pockets, a coin pocket, and then the 2 back pockets. These jeans, obviously the classic kind of Levi Strauss leather patch, which is also something that you can add to your jeans. There's also obviously that little Levi's tag. This is a really fun opportunity to insert a sewing label if you want to do it. And this is like, an iconic Levi pocket with this back arch design. Now, if we look on the inside, we can start to see some industrial sewing. So the yoke and the crotch seams of this pair have been flat felled. I am going to show you how to do a flat fell seam, but there's just a machine actually that just does this all in one go. And the other thing that's important to note with commercially made jeans is that most of the top stitching, particularly around areas of high stress, is done with a chain stitch. So it's a very, very, very strong stitch. I'm going to get a little bit closer here so you can see. It's not just a bobbin thread here. It's a literal chain on the underside. And that chain stitch, because we're dealing with all of this denim, is just really strong and helps your jeans stay together. That said, I don't use a chain on a domestic sewing machine. You don't use a chain stitch. And most of my jeans have held up to this, maybe they're not going to last 200 years like a pair of Levi's, but they do last. But that's just one of the main things to note between a commercial pair of jeans and a pair of jeans you might make at home. I also want to just turn these inside out. So we can see here this whole back crotch seam has been flat felled. Sometimes what you'll see is the inseam is also flat felled. It's a little bit rare, but this is another area where you can flat fell. And then the side seams are never flat felled because it's almost impossible. I don't even know if they make a machine that would let you flat fell in a tube like this. And so this is just each one of these seams is serged, and it looks like maybe originally it was pressed open. I'm not really sure. These have been obviously worn and washed a million times. And that's it for these Levi's. One thing I think is just kind of important to note is that if you're comparing your sewing to the sewing on that, you have to remember that, for example, whoever is doing the top stitching on that waistband is doing that hundreds of times a day on a heavy-duty industrial sewing machine. They could probably do it blindfolded, right? There's so much skill that comes with that repetition, and you're just not going to have that level of precision and perfection. Even now, I was trying to think of how many pairs I've made. It's like over 70, probably. Over 50 for sure. And I still have moments where my top stitching isn't perfect. I'm going to show you some of my own samples here that I've made over the last 10 years. You'll notice like sometimes the stitching isn't perfect, and that's because I'm not sitting there at a heavy-duty industrial machine doing the same thing 100 times a day. So again, opportunity to it's okay, doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. So some of these are better loved and better worn than others. This is a pair of ginger jeans. Why I wanted to show you this is I did all the top stitching in copper, but then I did some of the bar tacks in red. And so we're going to talk about ways to get a good bar tack on a domestic machine, but it was kind of a fun way to add just a little color to these jeans. And for example, I don't know if I wore these a million times, but you can, when I'm talking about fades, you can start to see that around the knee area, and here, for example, you're starting to see a fade, like a whisker that was starting to come from me wearing these. And some of these other pairs, you might see more aging, but that's that like natural wear that starts to happen over time. And I wash my jeans every 2 or 3 times I wear them, right? So it's not, you're starting to see that after a year or two. Here's another pair of ginger jeans. So again, here's another opportunity I had. I did matching thread. So this is a dark indigo. I didn't do a contrast thread. I did a navy thread. But then I did a little olive colored bar tack here. And then I had a sewing machine that did some kind of fun stitching details. And so I did this little kind of wing shaped here. And then if I turn this around, you can see here, I did another one of those olive colored bar tacks. And so it was just a way to take a really simple pair of jeans that was kind of very tonal and then add a little bit of subtle color. These are a pair of flare jeans. And why I wanted to show you these was a few reasons. So you can do denim everywhere, right? Denim waistband, denim on the inside. But there's also an option to do lighter weight fabrics on the inside. So the waistband facing on these jeans, I did in a quilting cotton. So if you want to reduce bulk or if you want to add another little design detail, this is an opportunity. It doesn't have to be double denim here. And the other thing I did that was a little bit different than usual was the inseam I pressed open, and then I did these like 4 lines of top stitching on the inside of that seam. So traditionally, you do 1 line of top stitching along that inseam, but here I've done 4. So again, opportunity to have a little bit of fun. Here in the back, I did a cross detail for my belt loops. So that was, you know, just constantly, I made so many pairs of jeans, I'm always trying to experiment and try new things. Another pair of gingers. This one I did 2 different colors. So I did a copper thread and then I did a white thread. And again, I did a lighter weight lining on the inside. And the other thing I want to show you is that in all of those ready-to-wear examples we were seeing, they tend to use really kind of boring beige or white cotton, but why not have fun? Like most of us have beautiful, colorful cotton in our stashes. And I always just feel like it's a fun opportunity to put those in your pants. And this is a wax print. There's also any kind of heavy duty quilting cotton gives you that fun opportunity to use up the scraps. And then this pocket's a little bit different. I didn't do top stitching here. I did a little bar tack along the top edge. Your eyes open, maybe take a look at some pairs that you might have ready to wear in your closet and start thinking about ways that you can make yours feel fun. But if you just want to go classic, that's also great. I think this is part of the journey. You're probably going to make, hopefully, many pairs of jeans in your life, and each pair will be a little bit different, and that is part of the fun of sewing your own clothes.